All right. Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining me today. It's kind of cool being up here. I feel like the center of attention, so it's very nice. My name is Assenza. I'm an associate with IdeaSTEM, and let's just have a good conversation today. Let's talk about something that's actually really relevant in today's date, and it's around inclusive teams and leadership. And before we get all icky about the word inclusion, just hear me out. So diversity is being invited to the party. Inclusion is being asked to dance. Now I think most of us have heard that one, but if not, now you're hearing it for the first time. And I love that quote from Verna Myers. It stuck with me to this day. And not just because it's catchy, but because I lived on both sides of it. I've been invited to the party. I've worn the name tag and I've smiled for the team photo. And then I go home and then I wonder, did anyone even notice I was there? Because inclusion isn't about being in the room. It's about being seen in the room, heard, trusted, counted on. It's about building teams where no one is left behind and where belonging isn't accidental, it's intentional. For much of my career, teams were built like puzzles, job profiles, deadlines, boxes to check. You got placed where you fit. You did the task and you stayed in your lane. There were bonding activities, sure, dinners, potlucks, and the awkward icebreaker. But when it came to showing up as your full self, that wasn't on the agenda. Vulnerability? Oof, too risky. Trauma? Too personal. Identity? Tolerated at best. Inclusion? Simply a footnote. And in those teams, I felt like a ghost, doing the work, earning the praise, sure, but always watching my back, always second guessing how much of me was safe to show, and never feeling like I truly belonged. Until one day I did. This team was different. It wasn't built off of a stack of resumes or a hiring algorithm. It was built through relationships. Our leader, Mahadio, didn't just read our LinkedIn profiles. He knew each of us, talked to us, built trust with each of us before we even sat around the table. And the first thing he did when we came together, he shared his story, his vulnerabilities, his lived experience. That single act cracked open the space. It gave us permission to be human, to be whole. And just like that, we weren't just coworkers anymore. We were a community. Now let's unpack that a bit more. Most teams run like rigid machines with interchangeable parts that work in isolation, lacking the adaptability, the creativity, and the collective intelligence to foster innovation and navigate change effectively. You have assigned roles, set expectations, but you're optimized for output. Like all machines, if you don't do the preventative maintenance and put in that care, they break down, right? But inclusive teams, they are like machines, but I like to think of them as ecosystems with diverse members collaborating, adapting, growing together to solve complex problems and innovate. In a traditional model, leadership is about control, hierarchy, and objectivity. Roles are assigned based on credentials, not context. Assumptions go unchecked, language becomes coded, and exclusion is dressed up as professionalism. But inclusive teams flips that model. They're built on shared vulnerability. The leader goes first, not to dominate, but to invite. Roles aren't assigned, they're co-created. Structure isn't rigid, it's responsive. Bias isn't hidden, it's acknowledged, owned, and aligned with equity. Yes, inclusive teams are intentionally biased. But like I said, they're biased towards equity, toward compassion, toward justice. So why don't more teams look like this? Well, because performative inclusion is easy, right? You can hire for diversity and still silence the voices. You can print values on the wall and never live them in a meeting. You can say we're inclusive while reinforcing the same old hierarchies and harm. The truth is, most teams still operate on a model where productivity is valued over people. Leadership is measured by control, not care. And 3, inclusion is a task, not a truth. And when someone challenges the system, when they show up vulnerably or ask for support or try to lead differently, they're often seen as the problem, or worse, quietly pushed out. So what does it take to build a team where no one is left behind? Well, we could start by building trust through vulnerability. Leaders must model it, and they must model what it means to show up authentically. This isn't weakness, it's an invitation. It's what creates the psychological safety what the team needs. We need to co-create the culture. Roles, goals, even timelines, they can and should be co-designed. When people have a say in how teams function, they invest more deeply in its success. We need to recognize workplace trauma. Everyone brings scars. Some are visible, some are buried. Inclusive teams make space for healing, not re-injury. Let's choose living language. Let's dump the jargon. Create metaphors and terms that reflect your team, not some corporate template. And practice dynamic time culture. Urgency is not a virtue. Flexibility, care, and pacing, these are what make sustainability possible. Think crib time, not crunch time. Now, when I think about the team Mahadio has built, I don't think about the KPIs or the Gantt charts. I reflect on the laughter during our check-ins and the honest motions, maybe the honest tears in hard moments. I remember being able to say, I'm not okay, and having that be enough. And most of all, I have a strong feeling of belonging, of being trusted just because I am me. This isn't accidental, it's designed. So here's my question for you. What kind of team are you building? One that runs like a rigid machine? Sure, it's efficient, but extractive? Or one that blooms like a garden, interdependent, rooted, resilient? Audit your leadership, audit your team. Ask yourself, who's holding the mic? Who's holding back? Who's never made it into the room at all? Because true inclusion isn't a checklist, it's a commitment. It's not about inviting someone to the dance. It's about co-creating the space where we choose the music together. No one is left behind on our team, not on our watch. Thank you.